G'day guys and welcome to FanCast, where we have a proper footy chat. We're here at the wonderful St Kilda Sporting Club here. A lot of history here at the club and we are so grateful to be here. G'day FanCasters and welcome to another episode here on the podcast where we have a proper footy chat. It's your boy Joe here, of course, joined by some regulars on the channel. Of course, you'd know the wonderful face of Dave Swizz. How's it going, my friend?
Mate, I'm good. I'm here in my Man City top, which is making our producer real happy just because my Tigers are stinking it up this year. So, mate, I'm going good. Yeah, happy to be here. Our first time here this year, so in the new venue. So, no, mate, be good to chat some footy.
100%, of course. Steve-O, SDS Supercoach. How's it going, Steve?
G'day, Joe. G'day, fellas. Going all right, mate. Fair to say I was a bit nervous about being invited to FanCast, but now with Hawks 2 on the trot, I mean, more than welcome to talk about footy this week now.
And he's so excited he couldn't wait to get here late, ladies and gentlemen. This is a late recording, so don't worry. We're not going to let you off the hook just yet, Steve.
It's like the Hawks season, yeah.
Like the Hawks season.
We left it too late.
That's right.
And of course, you also can see that we've got someone else here on the couch. Is it a couch? A long chair, if you want to call it.
Not just someone else either.
Not just someone else, of course. We've got Choc here of Choc'sChat. How's it going, man?
G'day, mate. Yeah, good. Thanks for having me. That was a big pump up, mate, so appreciate that. Thank you. But, good to be here.
So happy to have you on, especially fitting us into your really busy schedule. You've obviously got your own thing going on with Choc'sChat. Absolutely blowing up. You've now got over 70,000 followers on the Insta, I think.
I'm not counting, mate. I don't really like to count, but I'll tell you the exact number when we stop recording. We'll see what happens. But, thank you, mate. It's going well.
Yeah, really good to see, man. And I know you are a Collingwood supporter.
I am. I'm a one-eyed, diehard Collingwood nuffy. Which is pretty interesting sitting next to an Essendon supporter, but we'll see how long we last. How long does this pod normally go for?
However long you want it to go for.
Yeah, we're good about 10 more minutes, I think.
You can blame it on me, FanCasters.
Yeah, it's all his fault. We're starting 15, 20 minutes late because of him. So, but no, it's, mate, I got to ask, because your latest video that went crazy so far has been you walking around, what people think that they look like when they're walking around in their in an AFL jersey as a grown-up. Now, for me, I saw it as an Essendon jersey and I got excited and I had to sit and watch it 5 times. Yeah. Because you do look that way in my eyes when you're wearing Essendon colours.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah. Well, it's we did that video with Sportsbet, and obviously it wasn't actually my idea. It was from the great writers and someone's insight at Sportsbet. I'm not sure who it was. I think it was Tommy, actually. So shout out to Tommy. But, I had this idea of blokes there's a lot of grown men sort of wearing their footy jumpers still to games.
It's
and
shameful.
There's a bit of a divide there, whether you're allowed to, whether you're not allowed to. But, we just thought we'll play on that a bit. I had to play a little bit of a wanker character, which, to be honest, is pretty easy for me. So play that character pretty well. But, it went well. Wearing the Essendon jumper was hard, to be honest, as a Pies fan. But we got through it. I think it was a bit of an old school jumper too. It had the 3 mobile.
Yeah, had the 3 on there, retro.
Logo. Yeah.
Oh, damn,
that was the only cool part. The rest I wanted to burn after it.
Jeez, all right, fine. Yeah, tell us how you really feel, bro.
Is that too much?
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. You're a Collingwood supporter. I expected as much. What do we reckon? Is it fine for grown-ups, for full-grown adults, to go to the footy wearing their jersey?
If you go in the full sleeveless, it's just the jumper that I reckon it's a bit. Yeah, I'm definitely not on board with that. But I reckon past the age of 16.
Oh, sleeves are fine because of Ginnivan, yeah.
Yeah,
that's cool. That's really, really cool.
That's sarcasm.
The only jumper that should be fine at any age is a Jack Ginnivan 33 jumper with the Hawks. I mean, that's the only one for me.
I think there's 2 types. It's the retro. I love some of the old guys pulling out like the 1970s, 80s jumper, and they're like 60 years old. They're 5-6 beers deep before they even get to the footy. So I think that's fantastic. And then the ones who because their kids are doing it too, so it kind of becomes a whole family thing. So I can forgive that because it's just family culture, and sometimes the little kids want to dress up and wear that, and they'll pester their parents to put it on too. So I can live with that if they're walking out as a family, no dramas and that. But there's a few interesting other supporters that get in there and need a little bit more liquid courage. Just they've probably got a lot of liquid courage to be wearing the jersey.
Yeah, I'm divided, I reckon. I reckon I'm half-half. Like, it's weird. Well, in any other sport, like NFL, NBA, you're allowed to wear the jersey or the jumper and you got the name on the back and people love it and they go, oh, it's fashion. But you just see, I don't know, there's something about it. You see an AFL jumper and you're like, whoa.
It's the material, I reckon.
Yeah, it comes down to the material.
It's got to be the material.
That's what it is.
You're the wrong person to ask about this, Joe. But since we've got the two boys to the side who would understand this, is it more fashionable to wear it for just grand final day? So that's why I'm leaving you out of that joke, because obviously
you can't even include us in discussions like second elimination final or
these boys know
quarterfinals.
all about that. So
that's really good.
It's all right. I'm used to being excluded, as you can tell.
I got a bit tired of it, to be honest. 2015, I was thinking, oh, gee, it's about time we give someone else a
probably,
chance.
Probably get a new jumper in.
Be careful what you wish for, because the Bombrays are coming, mate. They're coming hard. We're coming hard. Are we the real deal this year? I don't know.
Hope not.
I've thrown the lid off. I started one of my videos on my channel. I've picked up a little pot and I've tossed the lid aside. It's in the Yarra River somewhere. We're playing finals this year. I don't know if it's a case of premature finalisation here.
That's
but,
a real thing too.
I do think we're playing finals this year.
Well, I've got no doubt. I think you're in the mix. I know Benny Boy and I talked about it on Insiders last night. Going, it's hard to see a couple of those teams outside the 8. Like probably the Lions have a good draw, but it's a long way back, and a lot would have to go right, and a lot would have to go wrong with the Bombers. You still got some very winnable games: Eagles, North, Richmond, Suns. But I did say to the other half when we left the Giants Bombers game last week, Bombers supporters, worst case scenario is going to happen for you. You're going to finish top 4. First week, you're playing Sydney away, and then you're going to have to face like the Pies in a do or die semi-final. Second, with like the worst case scenario for you guys.
We'll draw and go into extra time.
Straight sets.
Oh, Joe, do you reckon that page of how many days it's been since Essendon last won a final? Do you reckon they'll get shut down this year?
Well, because if we win a final, now someone will screenshot it and someone will frame it and it will be immortalized forever. That this was the number that it took for Essendon to finally win a final.
I'm so glad Richmond actually won't be playing finals, because I don't want to be the club that breaks the streak. It's just, I can't live with that.
Hold on.
That's how.
I can't live with that.
You can't just say, I'm actually glad we're not playing finals.
I would be so nervous as a supporter.
Jeez,
I know way too many Bombers supporters.
This is copium personified. If you know, you know. The cope is strong.
I follow the soccer, so
that's right. That's
I'd rather pick 2 than play Essendon.
I'd rather not make finals and lose to Essendon. Like, that's how bad losing to Essendon is. Oh, jeez, yeah, go home.
We sacked our coach last time, didn't we? No,
he walked away.
Before he got sacked.
He couldn't take it anymore. He couldn't take it. He lost to the Bombers by a point. He turns around at your players and says, you guys lost to a team of spunts. You're worse than they are. So, yeah, I can understand. Now he's over there at the Gold Coast Suns and he's loving life to the fullest. Doing really well. Kudos to him. Obviously, that was an expansion club. We've now got, talking about your boys, someone's left in Dimmer Hardwick. Well, someone else has left in very recent times. It's, of course, the CEO, Gale. He's gone to Tassie. How do you feel about that?
No, mate, I wasn't shocked at all. I've been prepared for that the entire season. It's been coming for a couple of years. Once we lost Peggy, I think Brendan was going to be on the way out, and with the whole Tassie announcement, I think we all want to see Tassie succeed. So he's the right man. Probably should have got the AFL job, but that's another story for another day. And he's done everything that he can at Richmond. At some time, I think you can hold on too long, and I think that'll give him a new breath of life down there.
He was a man with a plan.
He was. There's a little side story. So the day it got announced and like Footy Classified got in, I was actually in a meeting. So Benny and the board brought in a lot of the social media influencers back then, which is probably not as big as it is now. And so I think, it was like 12 or 14 of us in the boardroom down at Punt Road. Yeah, we went in there that night and he went through it step by step, what the plan was. And so I guess because you're always going to get different feedback from the media, but he also asked for some of our views and that. And the one thing I raised was, we've got to get out of Cairns as much as it's money. I'd like to see the club doing something back at Punt Road, which is now the reserves, the AFLW. I think that opinion was voiced by quite a few fans that night. And the club's done wonders to work towards not only their plan, but some of the other social media plans.
You're welcome, Richmond. Swizz, he did it all for you.
No,
It was
not
all
me.
Swizz.
Not
man.
me.
It was all-
Thank you very much.
Thank you. You're an absolute superstar, mate. So, he should have got the AFL job, you're saying. Well, the AFL has a task on its hands now. We've got 19 teams, a bit of imbalance. Do we have any... I know there were some rumours going around that, it could be a Northern Territory team. The only state or territory right now that doesn't have a team. I think it makes sense, right? For if it's going to go like to Cairns or something, or no, sorry, to Cairns, sorry, to somewhere in the Northern Territory. Could it be Darwin? Could it be Alice Springs? I don't know.
Yeah, well, it all depends what's going to happen with North, because I keep hearing North. It's just
Send North.
Just, send them up there. But yeah, I don't know. People are already so worried about 19 teams that won't work, and you don't want to rush. You don't want to rush anything because the AFL don't want to stuff this up.
Yeah, correct.
You see what happens when they get a team in, and then no one wants. The Gold Coast are flying now, but no one wanted to go to Gold Coast when they started. They didn't do it properly. GWS come in, and the GWS were flying. Yeah. So you don't want to. Whatever you do, you don't want to stuff it up. How they do that, totally not up to me because I have no idea how to do it.
Yeah.
You just don't want to rush it, and
you just got to call them the Crocs. Call them the Crocs. People who wouldn't want to play for a crocodile thing.
No, well, at least it's got.
Yeah.
Like they've got history up there. I was saying to you guys off air before, so I've lived up there in the territory. I've lived up in the communities, and Indigenous communities, their whole life is AFL. Their whole town is the town that I was in. Well, and I say that loosely because we had 300 people in there, but the school, we were based around North Melbourne, blue and white for the school uniforms, everything like blue and white in the town. So, and some of those kids, got so much talent and skills. We had a local carnival with some of the other communities around us. And we had Liam Jara playing against our community back then before he'd been found. So there's so many gun kids who don't get the exposure that obviously they do down here through the systems that we have. So I think it does open up another world. I know you got the talk about WA, South Australia, putting their hand up, but I think if you want to truly nationalise the competition and provide better pathways to Indigenous players. And if you could take a game each year to the community, I tell you what, that would be friggin' wonders.
Needs to be a stadium with a roof and stadium with air conditioning blasting at all times, because I am not going anywhere near there if those conditions are not met. And
can't handle the heat, bro.
Can't handle the heat, bro. Yeah, I'm an Essendon supporter, man. I love it when the seasons are killed and dead and buried very early in the season.
Before September,
before September comes.
You'll be used to that.
Exactly.
And as well, if there is a Darwin team, they'll have to get a bit creative with what to do in the pre-season. You know how there's the Brisbane and Gold Coast, they go to the middle of a river or an ocean, and they do an inflatable water obstacle course.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's a few teams that have done it. I wouldn't do it. I hope Darwin isn't doing that though, especially up there.
They're trying to become one with their mascot, mate.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's risky.
Just a little.
You probably take your twos. You wouldn't take your seniors.
No,
because if you lose a couple of twos, who cares?
They're just depth players.
Yeah,
they'll be swimming in the depth. Unfortunately, is the problem. Someone who I think did something very risky and unfortunately got found out was a Collingwood supporter.
What's going on with your boys down there, mate?
Just a little bit excited.
He did nothing wrong. Leave him alone. He's a really, really nice guy, and I think it's a load of shit. 12 months. Is it 12 months suspension?
Yeah,
suspension.
It's 6 months suspended for that. So pretty well just at the end of the season. I just gathered he was like 10 beers deep. He thought he was grabbing the ball and grabbed his head by accident.
It's not a great look because you don't want to let that go, and then what happens next time, and how far do you let it go? But I think rest of the year suspension. I think that's a bit stiff.
I mean, you gave him a hug, yes.
If it was a Collingwood player that he was getting around, would he get the same suspension?
No, 100% no.
Probably not.
Yeah, I think that's stupid then. So because he was just getting around him. So what's the rule? You're not allowed to touch players, or you're not allowed to touch opposition players. So if I go there with no top on, a Collingwood top or a West Coast top, if I go there casual and I do that
just
to
free
someone,
hugs.
and after the game I go, I barrack for that team. Are they going to let me off?
You'd probably get a lesser suspension.
I don't understand how that works. That's the rules. Corrupt. The AFL is corrupt, and COVID's got something to do with it. Dan Andrews has got to answer some questions, and I'm pissed off.
Keep going. Here. Bang tables.
Well, we can't bag Elbow on here because the Hawks need all the love for Elbow at the moment. So that's how Dingley's getting built, is it?
Right. Elbow.
Hopefully him joining the song gave us a few extra million, so let's hope for that.
Which player are you bringing in?
I want to be super confident because if you look at him, there are a bunch of photos all over the internet of him wearing a Collingwood scarf, a Sydney scarf, a Geelong scarf, a Hawthorn scarf.
He's got the Cronulla Sharks,
He's like,
Cronulla Sharks.
He's like the Australian Drake, just like jumping on each.
Yeah, that's exactly how he's known. I reckon he's known for that. I reckon everyone calls him that for sure. Yeah, very, very good.
Dralpo. I don't know.
Hawthorn is struggling with the funding. They're literally having a jumper with members' names on it, and you have to pay like $2,000 to get your name on the jumper against Carlton in round 22. So it's like, they must be struggling with the funding.
Well, I didn't know that was an option to go.
Who are we going to get? Why don't we get the Prime Minister?
We'll put out, members you can pay to jump in the circle. It's only going to cost you $4 million. Oh, Elbow, I've got that in the pocket.
Taxpayer money. Let's go, baby.
Make it rain.
Make it rain. Exactly. This is all government stimulus into supporting homes and business ventures in Dingley.
Holes in the budget.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good.
There are other holes in a bunch of other clubs. We're going to let Hawthorn off the hook. There's a massive hole over there at the Richmond Tigers, bro. All right, like, come on. How big of an injury list do you want to have? You do know you need to field players on the field, right?
Man, I've got the boots in the car. I've told them, I'm ready to go at any point. My 2-season career of playing reserves footy, it might come in handy. So get me in.
You got a kick?
Got a couple, but that's it.
Nice.
How much longer till Ben Nason becomes an emergency for you, mate?
Mate, I tell you what, if Relton Roberts doesn't come back, the super coach god. But mate,
give Connor Menadue a call.
We're in a bit of hurt.
Richo can play, I reckon.
Yeah, it's just a situation. The West Coast went through it. It's our turn now, and it's just all these freak injuries, but. It makes it hard for Uze, but you got to look at the positive and go, well, we needed to rebuild anyway. We needed to readdress the young talent coming through. And if it ends up getting Josh Smiley in the end, depending on where we sit compared to North Melbourne, I know a few North supporters were a little worried today on socials going, we're going to end up copying Richmond when they've got no one in, and it's going to be the Gold Coast round 24 situation all over again. And I tell you what, if you're a West Coast supporter, how happy are you right now with Harley Reid? We were talking about before, like Essendon supporters keep saying, what do we need to do, Harley Reid? We're talking about what player would you want at your club. Mm-hmm. Naturally, you were saying Harley Reid was your first one, 100%. Mm. So, if that was us right now, Josh Smiley seems to be the best kid in the country. Yeah, of course I want him in the yellow and black next year.
Jeez, it still boggles the mind why North Melbourne thought it was a good idea to win that game in Tassie last year.
Oh, yeah, but wouldn't it be funny if they did it again?
Like round 20, round 21, is it? 19 or 21, one of those two?
You should have got a few winnable games towards the end of the year as well.
They do.
They play like Richmond, Hawthorn, West Coast, like in the last month.
That's amazing. It's amazing. And they may even have the Suns still in that again too. It's just you can see it happening, and the Tigers will be by then. Like they'll do it properly. They'll go Dusty, Shea Bolton, whatever. Rest up, go in for your pre-season surgeries early, and we won't stuff it up. We're North fans, and it's frustrating because you still get good kids. But there's a difference. Like Harley Reid, Horn Francis, even this Smiley, they look like absolute bulls. Like they go in and they can be game changers. Where if they're the top elite, the players that North are getting are very good players. But it's just they're grabbing their 30 touches, but you don't expect them to go in there and just rip a game apart like some of these other players that unfortunately North potentially could have had and aren't going to have at the moment.
Their game is being ripped apart, but it's just on the receiving end, unfortunately. And
I
love it how I'm talking about it as where my boys are playing against them this week, and it would be such an Essendon thing to do right now.
How close did they get last year?
It was a goal last year. Yeah. We were at that game.
Yeah, we were.
It was very close for comfort. We'll be at that game again this week.
So will I, mate.
Oh.
Yeah.
There we go. I'll see you there.
Okay. Any other fans out there?
I will not be there.
No.
I will not be there. Yeah, I'll go to that.
Yeah. Yeah,
that'd be another win.
Mate, that's
Called it early.
He's called it early. I mean, you got to back in your boys now.
Actually, a little bit worried with the amount of injuries we got, but we still managed to beat West Coast, which aren't that impressive. But I'm happy with our young fellas. I tell you what, the couple of first gamers, Joe Richards.
He's flying.
Yeah. For the other boys, Lockie Sullivan.
Well, we've got the mid-season draft coming up, and I know I was listening to a couple of programs today, and they were talking about, is it the year that it's of the mature age player in the mid-season draft? Because you see the success of Collingwood's players. There's a few others in the league that have jumped in, but guys who have been slugging it along at either VFL or local level, got that 5, 6, 7 years experience who can come in and make an impact straight away. So I'd be watching out that in that mid-season draft coming up soon.
Yeah, because you guys, you weren't. Oh, you've had some injuries even last year. You had some pretty important injuries to some important players. I mean, like Dan McStay, for example, he was a big name recruit.
He was massive for us in the finals. People were saying, "Oh yeah, he wasn't that great every year," but he was massive in the finals for us. Then when obviously missed out, and then against the old side against Brisbane would have been awesome for him. But yeah, even guys like Johnny Noble. I'm pretty sure Johnny Noble, correct me if I'm wrong, he was a mid-year draft, wasn't he? Johnny Noble.
He was.
So, and he's 100%. Like a starter,
Well, look, the Bombers have had a couple, like Sammy Durham, who's he's coming from nowhere.
Yeah, he had Snelling, but he's been moved on now.
Yeah,
Menzie was Menzie.
Giant Menzie was a pickup. Nick Martin was a supplemental preseason pick.
Yeah.
Thanks, West Coast, you suckers.
We've lost everyone. Fremantle supporters are tuning in, but the others. But there has been some decent players if you go through those sort of mid-season drafts and that. Yeah, just and I think the clubs, like always the bottom clubs, are trying to look long-term, but the talent might not exactly be there. But, if you're a club near the top and, if like, say, Collingwood or one of the other teams up there can get a little bit more depth just in case break of glass, that it could make a real difference. And, congratulations to, like, someone who I think's electrician or by trade and that. And he's been slugging it out there and doing his thing, and he's looked really comfortable at the level for his first couple of games. So well done to him.
It was a super sub.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's come on and within like 2 minutes, first kick was a goal. So I was wrapped. I'm like I said, I'm a big Pies nuffy, but I was screaming and going nuts at the TV, absolutely going nuts. Missus is sitting next to me, telling me to shut up. But when he kicked that goal, like, oh mate, I was absolutely wrapped.
Harvey Harrison's also been incredible for you guys.
Yeah,
unfortunately
really
he got injured.
Yeah,
is he gonna play?
Yeah, I don't know how serious it was. I didn't see the post-match reports. I was too excited, sort of celebrating, but with the massive win. But hopefully it's nothing too bad. But it just adds to our another 7, 8 out, I suppose. But
jeez.
And Howie went down with a groin, I think. So we'll see what happens with that. But that's the good thing. These young guys coming in and they're proving their spot. So it's not the worst situation to be in, I guess.
All about next man up mentality. Someone who unfortunately won't be coming up. Cam McCarthy, thoughts and prayers with you and your family, all your loved ones in this really tough period of time. I thought it was really well handled by the AFL. A lot of those, I suppose, commemorations before each of the games. We saw how much it affected a lot of people. I know the Freo boys, also the Geelong the GWS people. I thought, it's fitting that both of those teams, both the Giants and the Dockers, both actually lost this week in light of the news. And some people were absolutely crying. Like you can see that someone like Nat Fyfe, for example, just wasn't in the right frame of mind. And then there was a bunch of questions being asked out in the public, in the general public. Should the game have been postponed as a result of this bombshell news? Or do you think it was handled the right way?
Tough one to answer because it's we're not in the players' shoes, but must be bloody tough for the players. They cop a lot, and very unfortunate what happened with Cam McCarthy. And Freo literally had to play the night of the announcement, and that would have just been so tough. I think Ethan Hughes from the Dockers had to withdraw.
I think they end up withdrawing all their emergencies and that from their game just in case, because Michael Walters and Fyfe in particular were the two, but apparently they put it to the players and the players, individually said, we want to play and just honour our mate, and it's probably easier than just sort of sitting around and trying to watch a footy game then. And
everyone reacts to news differently.
Correct.
So everyone's a lot different with that, and then would have been tough for the Giants players as well. McCarthy was actually on the list for a very long time, so he spent a lot of time with the Giants and the Dockers. and just very unfortunate what happened. And well done to Fremantle and GWS, Essendon and Sydney for paying their respects in the games. And that would have been a tough game to play through.
Yeah, absolutely. It is tough, but even though it's good that they gave the option to the players.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think the other thing is as well, sometimes even if you say, yeah, you're right, sometimes you don't know how you feel in that situation. Sometimes you need to be told what to do or lend a hand. Someone needs to say, hey, mate, listen, like, you're not playing. So whether they were adamant that they were playing, we don't know the full story. But, yeah, you just hope that they're going all right now. And obviously it's a tough time. But, like you said, thoughts are with them and the family and everyone involved.
For sure. Exactly. Men's mental health just doesn't get enough, I suppose, recognition, doesn't get enough spotlight in the day to day. I know there's been obviously some progression when it comes to what the modern man looks like, but I think in general terms, no one really wants to hear, in general, when men have, I suppose, their own troubles that they're going through with their mental health. So, guys, it's really important that we stick together, that we're all brothers and we're all following the same path in life. And you do have mates all around you. And for all of us to be able to reach out, just a simple question of, are you okay? Is everything going fine? Can go a long way, because obviously having a hard discussion while they're around, whilst it might seem hard in the process, it is so much easier than in the alternative. If you don't have that conversation and it's already too late, it becomes really hard to live with yourself and you end up having that regret that you don't want to have moving forward. So thoughts and prayers with everyone. Thanks very much. Are you doing all right? Are you doing okay? You should be doing okay now that the Pies are back in the 8.
Yeah, I am doing all right. The Pies are back, but back to the footy chat. Like I said before we started on here, I love talking about footy, but I find it very easy to talk about the Pies because I know stuff all about the rest of the competition. so if we're talking about the Pies,
it's showing.
I'm all yours. Don't worry about it.
Joel, add on to what you're saying about
yes, please.
taking out of the players' hands, that sort of thing. There was an incident, was it back on Thursday or Friday night, where a certain player, and even the doctors maybe taking it out of the doctors' hands because they were 9 minutes to go in a crunch match between Geelong and Port Adelaide. There was an approach to Jeremy Cameron, who then wakes up the next day with delayed concussion symptoms. What are our thoughts on that, boys? Because I feel like if that was the 9-minute mark of that first quarter or early then, they're probably taking him off and then potentially get subbed out. And especially because Port were, flying at that stage, but game on the line, and it's not the first time it's happened, and a few clubs have caught fines because of this. So what are your thoughts about that?
I don't want to say it because it means we're now calling into question people's integrity, but delayed concussion is the new cop-out answer. Or we've taken shortcuts to keep this guy on the field. He's passed. We've done the test. Maybe not quite as rigorously as it should have been done, but we need to get him out there. It's really important last 9 minutes. We need to get the result ASAP of utmost importance, and then either just dish out the delayed concussion the next day to essentially say, oh, look at that. Because you can't go back in time to determine whether or not he has actually been concussed back then. So
you look at his age, so Jock, grand final day last year, close game. Obviously, your boys got the chocolates. Let's just say, Nicky Dacos or someone like that gets a big hit 5 minutes ago. He's not wanting to come off. The doctor's not going to want to make that call. And the fans, they'd be sitting there, I've paid my membership all year, as much as, we care about the guy's health. This is do or die. And because there's so many supporters who are old school, they've, you can get through that. You can get through the concussion now.
Oh, Lee Matthews would have gone through this.
Exactly. I think there's a fine line, though, between that, because every situation's different. So you can't just say, oh, no, they'll be fine, because every situation is different, So you can't just generalise the whole thing all as one. But speaking of grand final day, I think Nathan Murphy, he's had his history with concussion. He's obviously announced his retirement this year because of that. And he was the one that actually ruled himself out. So he said he passed the test, and he said, oh, well, I've been getting delayed concussions, and he actually has been getting them. And he said, no, I don't think it's right, I should go. And he made the call, which I thought
is very honourable.
Was apparently that's what happened. And I think that would be so tough, especially a grand final. Because I know as a player, I know I only played Div 3 reserves with the Alchem Turtles, so if you're listening, thank you. But as a player, I know I would be going, piss off. Like, I'm playing no matter what. Similar to, I guess, what Cameron was sort of doing now. the next thing is, do the doctors need to have a bit more assertive and go, hey, no, you're coming off. There's no questions asked. Because that doctor or the medic that come out was just sort of like, and then he gave him the quick brush off, and then the doctor sort of went away. So do they need to be a bit more strict with that, or? And
we've seen in that game, was it Libba? Which he with Darcy Parish, we had to go to him because he's just flopped out of nowhere.
No, he tripped over.
The dog. Yeah, so what happened with that is the dogs were adamant that it was just because of his ankle. But then, and it's very unfortunate, but then Libba got concussed again in the Hawthorn game. And then the dogs reported on social media, now with 2 concussions so far this year. What? So it was concussion.
Yeah, it was.
Wow.
And anybody who watched that knew it was concussion. Like, simple
Slip
as that.
of the words.
Yeah, there was no way that he went down with anything else at that moment.
Yeah, it was concussion.
So, exactly.
Yeah.
That's not a trip.
No,
I've seen some players trip. But that's not a trip.
I do it all the time. I confirm it's
You tripped
not
over before on the way in.
That's it.
It's hilarious.
You could be stricter, but at the end of the day, this is a club doctor affiliated with this team that wants to get the result. Maybe there needs to be an independent doctor.
That's the worry, but then because that's what the AFL end up doing if clubs continue to not go the serious line with this.
They will,
and they'll eventually bring in an independent, which then I don't like it not being in the club's hands because then you've got this government body looking after and how they see things, and that person can't be at every game, so it's no different to the umpires. How many different interpretations do we get in one game because of 4 different umpires? No, that's not the umpire's fault. There's 4 of them there, and how I see the game compared to what you see the game from the angle you see it is going to be different. It does make it really tough.
I think you'd be really, as a fan as well, I think you'd be really sort of pissed off. And I guess as a player, if it's the last 5 minutes or 10 minutes and you go, mate, I'm fine. And they go, no, well, the new rule is it's strict. You can just see it happening now. It's strict. They pull them off and then they pass the test and there's nothing wrong with them. And then they go, I've now been on the bench for 6 minutes and I could have been a massive impact. You know what I mean? So you'd be a little bit pissed off there where you get forced off when you've said you're fine and then turns out you were fine anyway.
Yeah. The one adjustment straight off to the rule, and I know a lot of people are saying, we should just get rid of the sub anyway, but why the sub's here? Why they're doing the concussion test? That sub should be allowed to come on straight off.
Yeah, I
now,
agree.
if that player then has to come back off because that player's cleared, no problems. But I'd have no issue with it. You come off for that guy's, so Cameron, let's just say Geelong haven't used their sub, and he comes off, bang, that sub person, he can go on if they want to.
And then if he passes, the sub
just goes back off.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think...
And it gets it hard on that player, but...
I don't think you want to do that as a sub. You don't want to be fresh, run out for 5 minutes, and then go back to sit down. But isn't it
just him going back like this on
not really,
on the bench?
Because if you go on in the third quarter and you run around for 10 minutes and then you come off and then you have to sit there for a whole another 15, 20 minutes and then you get subbed on in the last 5, that'll do damage to your body.
Yeah, it probably would.
You run around for a bit and then if you sit off for a while, that's not...
Sounds like how the Bulldogs use their rookies anyway.
Yeah.
So.
But you know what I mean? If it's
just jump on the bike.
It's not good for, I guess, looking after the sub then.
Yeah.
Because if it's the last 5 minutes maybe, but you don't want them to come on and then have them sit on the bench for too long a period because the other players just come back on, if that makes sense. But
even if they're on the bike, just work on the bike.
Yeah, they could do that.
Keep them warm.
I don't know, do a few laps. But
do a few laps, maybe be
it's tough either way.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I just like it because I feel like the player be more likely to come up and do that because it's like, well, I'm not leaving my team short. That's that situation too. So
down. So it's that's a tough one.
Oh yeah, I'm also thinking about it now. Like, imagine if we're in a tight match with you guys, for example, in elimination final or whatever it might be, and all of a sudden we just find. I said final. Doesn't mean we're to win.
No.
We can make finals. Winning them is the problem. Okay, winning them is the problem.
It's too easy.
So we make finals, and then all of a sudden, in the last 5 minutes, an independent AFL appointed doctor comes in and says, Zach Merritt, you are concussed. Get off the field. I will be spewing till the end of time.
That poor bloke wouldn't make it out of the stadium.
With the conspiracy theory going haywire that the AFL wants us to lose. You know what I mean? Surely
against the world.
That's it.
Which I'm absolutely rapt about, to be honest. I'm all for it.
We've heard it all before. You hate us because you hate us, all right?
No, you're actually going all right. I know there's a massive rivalry with Collingwood Essendon and Carlton and the rest of the bloody league. But you're actually doing really well. And I like it. And, hey, good on you.
Good on you. As long as you go out in straight
This
sets.
is. I've learned my lesson. Whenever he gives a compliment to me about the Bombers, it's fucking sarcasm. All right, he's being sarcastic. He can't.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Is there anything good to say about the Bombers? You got anything good to say?
Nick Martin, Zachy Merritt.
Nick Martin, probably he keeps passing the ball.
Goldstein.
They did.
Todd, hey,
Yeah, Goldie, good.
Yeah, he's your best player. He's also
Matt
your
Guelphy
oldest player.
celebration. That was good.
Which one?
The Guelphy celebration.
Oh,
I
That
thought
was nice.
Yeah.
that was good.
There you go.
A bit of red dot
no, that
action
was
as
good.
well.
Yeah.
That's-
Needs to get the hair back though.
So they love. Is that these guys love it when Essendon celebrates?
Yeah.
They're in
Because
denial,
it's
guys.
rare-
They're
it's
in denial.
rare-
They're in
it's rare to
denial.
see.
It's coming, boys. It's coming.
It's very
It's funny
rare
you
to
say that. I'm
see.
pretty sure Goldstein's celebrating his 50th birthday this weekend, so that's good. Isn't it?
I'm the clown going to be at the party. I'm going to be doing the balloon animals.
And you are right. Nick Martin nearly hit me lace out twice from row M on the weekend. So
Look, he's hit or miss. All right, he can be hit or miss. All right. Now we're gonna stop talking and bad mouthing my boys. We're gonna move away from the Bombers. Yes, we are.
I don't know about that.
I like bad talking North Melbourne, but this one though, I gotta say, well done to him. They are apparently not requesting a priority pick this year,
silly.
which I think finally the Tin Can Rattlers are not asking for more this time around. However, they should be. They should be asking for a priority pick.
Their problem
Just
at least-
get rid of them.
Yeah. Well,
Send them to North. Bro, how perfect would it be a kangaroo in the Northern Territory? Like, is that not perfect?
Well,
Is
you
that where they
see-
belong?
That makes sense.
You see the teams rebuilding. West Coast won a flag. Richmond had a dynasty. Hawthorn had a dynasty. North, all right, one prelim, that's enough. Let's get rid of Ben Brown, Sean Atley, Jamie McMillan, all their senior blokes. And it's just...
I heard one of the good
Boomer's
ones.
still killing it.
Yeah, I
He's
heard
a
one of the
gas.
good ones the other day. Just the North St Kilda Roos or the St Kilda Kangaroos or that. It's Kangaroo. I mean, the Saints are in debt, but they have members. Kangaroos lack members, but they've actually not in debt. So it's
Yeah,
a
so
match
if you
make.
combine
Because
the
they've got
two,
no
Yeah,
investments.
match
you've got a
the two.
very stable
They've got no
That's
players
right.
to pay. They've got no players to pay.
Honestly, at this point, I think North Melbourne should just merge with Craigieburn or something.
Or
do you
Eltham.
Not with Eltham. No, they're not
No.
wanted. Not wanted. Not wanted.
Craigie Byrne.
I thought Robbie
not
Nahas
bad,
or
not
something
bad.
played local footy there. I mean, quite the way to get them back
That's a
together.
good link.
I mean, St Kilda have won one flag as an OG side.
I wouldn't say that too loud here.
We're in St Kilda here. They won't invite us back here.
How they come close to
It's a
that attack.
fact. It's a fact. Like they've won one flag in their entire history. Like it's hard to judge.
The hard thing
the
too, because
past.
now they're struggling.
and they're
because
also in debt.
they were-
Correct.
the sugar hit there with Ross Lyon, and that's worn off, and the other teams are now going ahead of them. And all the talk is, where's their main talent? Like, where's the development in this talent? And the problem again with the Saints, they probably get a couple late wins, finish between that 9th and 12th spot again. Academy players, father sons, and all of a sudden that pick gets back, back down to 10, 11. And it's the same story for them every year. And that's kind of what I saw North Melbourne trying to do, break that cycle, going, well, it's useless us bringing in pick 10 because not like that West Coast, go get Harley Reid. That's what I'm expecting our boys to do.
Yeah.
And then you've got good, like, Collingwood, it's the system, but to get the father and son in Dacos, Brisbane improved massively because they got Ashcroft. So you've got good teams who are improving. You're going to have a couple teams that have won, as you said, dynasties with you, me, and West Coast. And we're going to obviously get the top talent in, and then you've got teams, unfortunately, like North and St Kilda, just in middle ground. And it's just,
Are North and St Kilda a destination club though?
And that's the hard thing, they're not either. So they're not either.
Geelong is because it's a lifestyle down Geelong.
Correct.
Collingwood a big club.
Yeah.
Like, the big three. Carlton,
That's why I
Essendon.
find it like a massive problem when North Melbourne or the Saints or the Dogs go through a rebuild like what North have done, because even when you're a good side, you're not going to be able to attract the top echelon sort of blokes compared to like a Collingwood, a Richmond, an Essendon, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But when you're down the bottom and with your members being pretty low as well for a Melbourne-based club, you're not going to be able to get fans in. You're not going to get players from other clubs. Look at what's happening with North Melbourne. They're getting Zach Fisher and these lot in that just can't
rejects.
They're paying them as well.
You're paying them big money That's why I think I know the Dogs are struggling a fair bit, like for what they're capable of. But I think they're right in the sweet spot of they've got good young talent, they've got these experienced blokes, they get fans on seats because every game, for most games, they're a chance to win that game. And that's why I think the Dogs are doing it fine. They're getting a good young crop up, albeit thankful for the father-son, but
I feel they've got it the right because they've pretty well got the whole western suburbs to themselves.
They don't need to bottom out. They don't need to bottom out.
They've got the setup they need, as we said, about attracting players. So at least they've got something there. Geelong, I got a bit of crap on Twitter this week because I did say they've got the biggest advantage of any club in the AFL. And some people are, because I did mention house prices and stuff. But I know, you living out where you are, and myself, houses are around $1 million, if not more. And what I could sell my house and go down, live down at Torquay and live on the beach for the same price. So if you're a player who's earning 200,000-300,000 or that average wage, even up to 400. Also, you can get a way bigger house down by the water just because, and a lot of their players obviously come from down that way. So that the fact that they can come, even if it's Warrnambool or whatever, they get to the freedom of coming back home, but also it's probably maximising their salary.
Also, as well, I think a lot of players. I mean, I don't know basically any of the AFL players personally, but I would have thought that the media speculation around in Melbourne wouldn't be too nice for them. And when you're down in Geelong, you've just got your local reporters, that sort of thing. You're not getting hounded like you do in Melbourne. And 6 million people in Melbourne, everyone knows everyone.
Everyone's out on their farm in Geelong.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, they do. They all live down if it's not Torquay, along the Grey Ocean Road or more inland if you're Jeremy Cameron or Tom Hawkins.
Moggs Creek.
Yeah, the farm life.
Danger,
but it is. They're not like they're walking through the city of Geelong. They probably train and then drive the 20 minutes, half an hour back home. And they probably do get that separation that other players don't get. Now it's probably the bigger clubs we've talked about, they've got a draw factor. You got Anzac Day and Dreamtime and all those sort of big.
The country game as well is pretty good.
Playing in front of 80,000 fans. But what is St Kilda and Melbourne and North Melbourne? What's their draw factor? Even like Mornington Peninsula. It's not like they play down there. They tried to move down to Seaford. Yeah. It's super expensive to live on the Mornington Peninsula, and it was still taking the players forever to get to training.
Yeah,
at least they tried something, St Kilda.
Yeah, they tried something,
but
they're trying hard.
Yeah, but these clubs just don't have. They've got to actually really think out of the box to become competitive off the field. And what's the whole Moneyball? Like, just watch the opening scene of Moneyball there. About if we're going to play like the Yankees off the field, we're going to lose them on the field. And that's pretty well how I feel about St Kilda and Melbourne. And, well, not Melbourne at the moment. They've got it right, but St Kilda and North Melbourne in particular.
But St Kilda aren't trying to play Moneyball right now. St Kilda are dying for a big name recruit. I'm pretty sure they went pushing pretty hard trying to get DeGoey across the line, didn't they?
They were at one point. The same as like North. North were doing the same thing.
Exactly.
Apparently there's a rumour that North tried to get all these players. But like I said, it's not a destination club. Like, no one wants to go there, especially now. Maybe a few years ago when they were I think they're worse now than they were a few years ago. No one wanted to go then.
Correct.
Now, certainly no one wants to go now. So.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
And that's the thing we've seen now. The Saints have put out an offer for Wiedering for about 1.5 million.
Yeah, I saw that.
And even Saints, a couple other clubs are chasing McCluggage, throwing up 1.5 million.
Yeah.
But are you going to you've got to have a reason. Like, some players, they go, well, okay, it's an extra 500,000 a year, but do I really want to go play for a bottom club? Or they'd rather take less money. Like in, say, an LDU at the moment would be.
Yeah, they offered him, as I've heard that St Kilda offered him $13 to $15 million contract.
Yeah, it's like ridiculous.
Yeah.
And as much as the money sounds good, I guess, but they judge up after tax and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But even like an LDU, like a Saints or even North Melbourne to keep him could offer ridiculous amounts of money. Or look at Ben Mackay this year. I can change clubs, go to a club where I can play in front of 40, 50,000. And LDU be thinking about maybe going to Collingwood. Yeah, I could get, maybe an extra, like less $200,000 or $300,000 a year.
Yeah.
But I'm playing in front of 80,000 successful club and I might actually win stuff. And if you are successful as a player, you're probably going to get better endorsement deals when you finish.
Exactly.
And better chance of winning.
And better chance of winning, which players in the end of the day want to win.
Yeah,
who doesn't want to win?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's it.
And good money, though.
I mean, you also get like, even during the playing career, you could have someone like a Bailey Smith, for example. He's got a nice gig with Bonds. He might be on his way over to the Pies as well, right?
Yeah. Hopefully he does come into the Pies. I think he's good mates with Josh and Nick Dacos. I think they've got a business together. So I'll be rapt to get in, mate. Harley Reid, anyone else who wants to come along.
Mate, there was that whispers. Tom Morris. Tom Morris was saying the Bombers could be putting in a big offer for Harley Reid.
My problem with Harley Reid is not the money, because West Coast got there's a salary cap anyway. So say Kilda North, whoever could come out and say, here's $3 million a year. Well, big deal. But it's then the draft capital that you have to give up as well. So Harley Reid, I don't think he's going to leave West Coast unless he's going to one of the big Melbourne clubs anyway.
It's got to be.
And then you've got to have the draft capital to satisfy West Coast. So I heard that some Essendon supporters, we'll give him Durham and this. It's like, I'm like, please, mate, it's going to cost you like Zach Merritt, Nick Martin, and like 2-3 first-round picks of that before. And Essendon supporters like, there's no way we're giving that up. Well, you're not in the conversation, because why would they give that up? Why would they give Harley Reid up for anything less? So,
it's because they're rebuilding, and because we're a big club and we could do whatever the hell we want. The Bombers are coming. We've got an Essendon edge.
And that's
we can edge them out of the conversation, all right?
And it's the only sort of thing, but you've still got to satisfy West Coast in this. It's not like he's a free agent. So that's why it's much easier, like some of these other players.
Yeah.
And like you look at, I think Josh Battle now, he might be a restricted free agent. So there's some inquiries about Collingwood for him as well.
Yeah,
it's much easier to get for those guys who are either restrictive or complete free agents over, or trying to get players who are 25, 26 who aren't happy. Much easier to get them out of a club than trying to get, a 19-year-old.
Satisfaction. All right, guys. 2 seconds. We'll come back with you very, very shortly on the flip side of this break. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. We have rehydrated, stretched our legs a little bit, and we are ready to end on a wonderful high. Of course, like I said, we've been joined by a very special guest. Should I say? I'm mixing. I wanted to say Choc, but then I jumped the gun. And
you just called me Jess?
I called you.
I think you called me Jess.
It is.
That's not my name. They called me Jess.
It's not
they
mine
called me
either.
her. No. Of course, it is Choc of Choc'sChat, mate. We're so happy to have you on.
Yeah, so I'm going to throw it, if you don't mind, Joe. So
go for it, please. I was going to throw the floor to you anyway.
It's like, we have our pods and our YouTube channels, which do all right, but nothing compared to what obviously you're doing with those 70,000 subscribers before. Do a lot of great little videos, and what's probably the best one or most enjoyable one that you've done so far, mate?
Oh, best one. Oh, I don't know. Probably have to ask the missus. I think she's a massive fan of them. But,
from your point of view, what's been the most enjoyable one?
There's a few. I mean, it's weird because there's obviously some, I do some paid ads and stuff which go well, and then there's some stuff that I put a lot of effort into. I write some scripts, and I was saying off air to Dave before, our great producer from FanCast. Shout out, Dave. But I was saying before that I put a lot of effort into some videos, and I write all these scripts, and I think about camera angles and music, and I think this will work here, and I put a lot of effort into it, and then the video just goes to shit, doesn't do well at all. So it's just like, I enjoy doing them, I enjoy the writing them and doing them, and then there's some effortless ones of just, say, me annoying the missus, and it just goes really well. But I probably don't have a favourite. I just like mixing it up. There's a few tradie ones I did. I think just a generic thing about the hot weather. And living in Melbourne, I think all we talk about is the bloody weather because it changes every day. So
that's right.
Some of that's sort of to relate to the audience. Some tradie ones. I did one about parents and having kids, and my brother and sister recently had kids. Well, not recently; they're about 4 years old. Their kids, but just the constant, as you know, parents just complaining about having kids. I thought I'd play on that a bit, and that video was about them, so that was a funny one. But
do you get much feedback from the fans out there asking to do certain stuff, or?
Oh, I do a bit. I mean, a lot of people were a big fan of the umpire stuff I've been doing. I sort of delve into that area.
I'll say that's my favourite part too, mate.
So I don't mind the umpire ones. It started off as a bit of a piss take, to be honest, and just taking the piss out of the umps. And then
I love that
when people started enjoying it, and then a lot of sort of a younger demographic, families and stuff were getting involved, and I thought I'm sort of onto something here. But it's quite ironic because as a footy player myself, playing footy, I wasn't always a massive fan of the umps. But you didn't hear that, guys, so hopefully you edited that out. No, just kidding. But
sarcasm.
No, the umpire ones are pretty fun to do, and anything footy related is usually sort of a similar audience that sort of follows me. But I like to mix it up a little bit. Not trying to stick to the same thing, but sometimes you can't help yourself with during footy season. You sort of have to keep going. But no, mate, I'm really enjoying it. Sometimes it's weird. I've a few different characters, I guess, online, and there are some people that sort of get this idea of me and who they think I am, and then they meet me and they go, "Fucking hell, pretty boring." It's just like, well, I can't be on all the time, but it's good fun, mate. I'm really enjoying it.
No, you haven't been boring tonight. Don't worry about it at all. When are we going to see what the most average carpenter looks like?
That's coming very soon, and that's a very easy character to play because obviously I'm a chippy by trade, and I am. Can I say fuck?
Of course.
I am fucking useless.
You actually have already said, you actually dropped the mention
I'm so sorry. I'm really trying to stop swearing.
No, it's good,
I keep swearing too much.
Anybody that's watched one of my videos, so like you can't have like grandkids and kids around because I drop the F-bomb every 3 words. But
it's good. But I'm a pretty useless chippy, let's be honest. So if you ever need some chippy work done, don't call me.
This is reverse psychology, guys.
I've never seen someone not plug themselves for a business or anything. That's great.
This is next level plugging.
That is.
They've now got in their mind, don't call Choc. But by virtue of them thinking about it, fuck, you're a master. You are a master stroke genius.
Get a business card going.
Yeah. But if you are a
Don't
club,
Don't call me.
If you're a club that wants a umpire to come in and show some of his best work,
I'm happy to come down and help you umpire. And also, if you are a local club in the Northern Footy League, the Essendon District, the Eastern League, where all these local clubs, please stop calling me and asking me to come to play for your reserve side because I've given up. I won a flag last year, so stop calling me. I'm not coming down.
It's the Joel Selwood of Eltham, bro. That's the Joel Selwood of Eltham.
Nah, that was with the Eltham Turtles. They're off to a flyer this year. I think they're undefeated. Don't know how the seniors are going, but it's. I used to play at Epping Footy Club, so shout out to Epping Footy Club, the Northern Footy League. But I play on the Instagram a little bit that I'm a gun, but I'm obviously pretty bloody useless at that as well. So until I find something I'm good at, I'll let you know. But you can rule out carpentry and footy, that's for sure.
Nah, you were telling me you're a good tipster.
Oh yeah, pretty good at footy tipping. I think that's just a little bit of luck. Not much skill, but yeah, going all right with the footy tipping this year.
That's why Sportsbet have you around there, mate. Because
that's it.
You either feed them money or you get people to feed them money as well.
Well, it's a bit, half. We share the load there, so it's good stuff.
All right, we're trying to rack your brains. All right, we're going to go through each of these games, round 10 of the 2024 Toyota AFL Premiership season, brought to you by FanCast. The first game of the round, the Suns hosting the Cats at TIO Stadium, Darwin. I'm going to go out on a limb and say the Gold Coast Suns get the dub. Am I psycho or not?
Yes.
Sportsbet have them at $2.10.
Yeah, you're 100%. You're a psycho.
Get around me. Get around me.
No, I don't mind that. It's actually, you know what? I'm going to go with you. I'm going to join you on that.
We're fellow psychos? Or are you being sarcastic?
No, I'm a massive psycho, but I am going to tip the Suns.
Oh, beautiful.
I'm actually tipping the Suns as well. I went up to that game last year, but that was in the Gold Coast. So I was just like, I think they've been up there for the week, acclimatised, and their home record is fantastic. So I think it'll be a struggle for the Cats.
A couple of psychos on board.
Get around us.
Well, I don't want to be a party pooper here, so I'm going the Suns as well.
Peer pressure, mob mentality. Now tell us what you really feel.
No, I actually, before you guys said that, I actually genuinely thought Gold Coast. I was actually going to tip Gold Coast.
Watch the Cats win by 75 points now.
Do you ever change your tip last minute?
Oh my God, I did it for the first time for the season last week for the Essendon game. And I had Essendon all week. I was arguing with people online. Essendon a real deal. They're going to beat the Giants. Walking into the ground, I was like, I forgot. Callum Ward's 300th game. Well, I better pick the Giants.
Oh, man.
No.
I have a rule.
like,
I have a
yes.
rule, don't change.
Don't ever
Likewise,
change.
likewise.
But how I completely forgot about that.
Oh, mate, it's unreal. Last year I changed heaps, and then the other team in win, I always did that. Oh, I was going to pick them. And this year, I pick them, and I leave it. And that's it.
I do all my tipping on the Monday and just don't touch it for the rest of the week. Like,
Yeah, that way you don't miss it.
Yeah,
You miss
exactly.
the Thursday night's a killer. You
that's
miss
it.
the Thursday night.
Yeah, 100%.
You're out.
We don't have many of them coming up now because the rest of the fixture's been released. And just one for the fans out there. It is not the fact that they haven't redone the fixture. The 24 rounds was already done. It's just
Correct.
when you're playing. Because I saw a few Bomber supporters going, oh my God, we've been dealt a really hard fixture on the run home. No. That fixture was the same all season.
Stop bashing Essendon supporters.
It's true. I'm like,
Typical
no,
Bomber supporters,
please.
mate.
It's just they've just put in the Friday, Saturday, Sunday games. And I'm very happy because a lot of Richmond games are 1:10 on a Sunday, which suits me down to the ground. So
Now, you
I
know
can go
why.
and watch us lose.
You know why the Essendon supporters are out feeling very sad? It's because Fox Footy pops out a post about the hardest fixture run home.
Yeah.
And it's got the Bombers as the
But
hardest
it is
one.
the hardest fixture, but that's fine. Even though you've got only like one interstate trip in that.
Two
Like,
intercept trips.
You can have the best fixture or the worst fixture. You're not going to win a final, bro.
it's all about
It just makes my life so much easier, doesn't it? Oh, yeah, I know how this script ends. Spoiler alert.
So what do you got for us on the Friday, mate?
Friday night, we got the Swans hosting the Blues at the SCG.
Yeah, all the good games are early this round.
It's a good one.
Yeah,
This is a
after
good
this,
one.
it goes really
Oh, it
downhill.
goes real bad. But let's talk about the good games.
All right, we'll let you go first this time.
Sydney, they're my tip for the flag early days. I really rate them. They're just a well-oiled machine. Just their height down back concerns me, if anything.
Yep.
But the fact they're doing this with no Callum Mills, no Luke Parker, and their midfield's still this dominant. Sydney Blues could give them a bit of a shake if they can get the ball moving pretty quickly with Curnow and Mackay in a pretty smallish back line for Sydney. Then they could cause a muck. But I think Sydney for me by a few goals.
Yeah, if it was at Marvel, it'd be a different story.
Yeah,
but I
agree.
think because it's a smaller ground, easier for them to defend. Luke Parker's putting up stupid numbers in the VFL.
And still can't get a
Just
run.
can't get a run.
Kicked the game winner as well. You see his game
From
winner.
70 metres
yeah,
out.
Yeah,
Saw
it's
that.
200 metres out. Kicked the goal. It was unbelievable.
I saw his hammy fly with the ball as well, dare I say. Yeah.
So, no, I'm the same. I'm on the Swannies.
Yeah, no, I was short and sharp. I'll go Swannies as well, mate. I think Carlton are too hit and miss. So every time I've tipped Carlton this year, they've lost. And every time I've tipped against them, they've won. So
I'm picking Carlton now.
I'm going with the Swannies, but we'll see what happens.
I'm going to go the Blues. I'm going to go the Blues. To lose! So crap, Carlton, you got to lose. We got to go with the Swans. I freaking hate the Blues.
We've lost all of our Carlton subscribers.
Do we have anyone left outside of probably Richmond Collingwood right now? I think and I've been bagging out my Tigers all night, so probably the Hawks and the Pies are here, but
Oh, wait, it's been the Pies, mate. We're at the Pies right now.
Oh,
Here we go.
here we go.
The Pies hosting the Crom.
Oh, this will be
Adelaide. Sorry, they're not Adelaide this week. They are Kuarna.
Usman Khawaja?
Usman Khawaja. No, don't be racist, bro. This
There's
is
no racist
Aboriginal.
there.
This is Aboriginal, bro. It's Collingwood versus the Crom at the MCG. We're all going to go with Collingwood, yeah?
I certainly am. It's no brainer there, I think.
I think so.
Nick Dacos 3 more votes.
Yeah, I
I
reckon.
think the
dang,
Pies are
Gorringe.
Sorry. Just say Nick Dacos' name. It just excites me.
I might go to the game. Like, it's good weather in Melbourne this week from the seams of it.
Yeah,
But
that'll change.
Yeah, I was about to
that'll
say,
I've lived in Melbourne my
Don't
whole
count-
life. I still don't learn my lesson.
don't count your chickens, bro. Or your crows before they hatch.
That'd be good. I've got cricket on Saturday, so that's a shame. Otherwise, I'd probably join you with that one because it
Just
should be good to watch the Crows get spanked.
Mate, they had two close games last year.
I
They
It was
did
two
actually.
very close
They
games.
actually did
Both
match up really
at-
well.
both over there and here.
Yeah,
they
they
were
matched
both
up well.
under a
Yeah.
kick. I was pretty surprising.
That was typical Pies, though. They had a lot of tight ones, but
I swear, you guys are just adrenaline junkies. You're like, no, this game's not close enough. We need to get it close.
McRae just says, he goes, boys, what do you think you're doing? We get up by 25 points. He goes, that's too much.
Too much.
He goes, bring it back, give him a sniff, and then give it to him.
Yeah,
And
break to hearts.
That's how I imagine it went anyway.
The heartbreakers. We then go to the Giants hosting the Bulldogs 4:35. So this is like a twilight session. on the Saturday.
Giants. It's at Giants Stadium.
It's
or
Giants NG Stadium, Sydney. So
I go Giants.
I reckon that's the Giants' actual home ground. I'm going to go with the Giants. They've had 2 back-to-back losses for a team that's supposed to be a premiership contender. Obviously, it's still early in the season.
Yeah, they need to rebound.
They got to bounce back. And the Dogs are even more hit and miss than Carlton are.
Yeah, I'm thinking Giants 40 plus here. I'm super confident in the Giants really bouncing back. I know they lost Kelly and Ash with calf injuries, but yeah, I'm pretty hot on the Giants for this week.
Make sure you clip that up if the doggies end up winning.
That'd be great.
Hold on to that.
No, they won't. If they do,
I'm sort of hoping doggies win now. Just saying. Come on.
I'm going on the screen for this.
Well, if they do win, you're engagement.
If you do win, that's good. You can clip it up anyway.
You're a genius. You're a genius,
You called it here first.
Great
Well, that's
marketing
good,
tool.
Steve.
Mate, when you have the big calls, mate, you wear it.
massive.
You wear it both ways.
This might sound weird.
Oh, yes.
But I reckon, Giants will win, or maybe the doggies will win. Fuck,
bro.
So you're not on the draw?
The draw. Is Collingwood supporter hitting it, bro? Is Collingwood supporters,
Mate, heard it here first.
They're hugging people. They're making big calls
Crazy
now. What's
call,
going
isn't it?
on?
It's just unbelievable, that call.
Swizz, what do you reckon?
Oh, yeah, mate, I said the Giants.
Oh, sorry. I didn't hear it. Sorry.
Comfortably, don't
Comfortably,
worry.
mate.
Don't worry, Giants fans. Comfortably.
Yeah.
Giants fans? Giants
Yeah,
fans?
Yeah, there's a few.
Yeah,
Some
people live in Canberra, don't they?
People live in Canberra.
People do live in Canberra.
They do. Very
politicians.
Good fact.
Very astute. Very Albo. Your mate. All right.
Stop going to question time and jump on FanCast.
All right. Saturday night. There's 2 of them. We've got 2 Aboriginal teams. Yurok versus Walyallup. Who do you reckon those 2 teams are?
Well, I gather you mean St Kilda Fremantle. So
Look at him, so cultured. Yes, St Kilda hosting
I'm actually really
Freo
torn on this game
at Marvel Stadium.
because the Saints need to bounce back. They cop it,
But they
They've
won't.
got so much.
They won't.
I'll go on Freo.
Me too.
20 plus.
Me too.
You
I
know,
reckon Freo.
I'm actually leaning towards St Kilda. And I feel dirty saying that, but maybe because we're here in the St Kilda Sports Club, maybe I want to walk out here alive. So yeah, go Saints.
I'm going Ross Lyon. I'm going St Kilda as well. I mean, they come up against a really good side last week, and they'd be pretty disappointed with that. One of the hottest side in the competition in Hawthorn. So I think they'll look to bounce back. And
I just want
Freo to win because I want to hear another excuse from Ross Lyon.
Yes.
Kane Corns put up a good clip during the week.
Yeah,
saying,
it's a shout.
how many times did Ross Lyon say, "Oh, it's not an excuse"? Funniest voice in the AFL, by the way.
Yes.
He's got the funniest voice in the AFL.
I love how he had a go at the not being able to bring the runners on last week. St Kilda are an older side than Hawthorn. You would think they would know what to do in a close situation than us. And I wouldn't mind Freo winning though. I reckon they have a very underrated theme song. And I wouldn't mind hearing that again. I like it.
That's great.
The way they've redone it, and it just sounds immaculate.
Yeah, I could see you doing one of your videos, maybe as a press conference, and just really taking the Mickey out of a couple of these coaches in particular.
That's actually not a bad idea. I always wanted to do a press conference video as an honest coach because they beat around the bush and they say this. I'd love to get out there and just say, this is what an honest coach would say.
Mate, I'm happy to come on as one of the journos, and we can do.
That'd be great.
Yeah, we could do that.
I wouldn't mind doing that. That's actually it's actually a good idea. So we'll run that idea. Yeah. Nice.
Just cooking, just cooking content on the fly. Here we are. I swear. All right, Brisbane hosting Richmond at the Gabba. Moving on. Essendon.
That's brilliant.
Let's talk margin.
Swizz, will Richmond kick a goal?
Yeah, I said to the other half, I was like, "Oh, honey, it's such a shame I've got cricket on this weekend because I wouldn't mind flying." I was just like, what the hell? What, to watch them kick one goal? Like, what a trip. She still reminds me of the day we drove up to Canberra. We did the whole carpool to watch us play the Giants. We kicked 3 goals for that day. I was like, that was a fun trip. So,
amazing.
do we kick 4 goals? I'll say yes. I think we can kick 4 goals for the game.
I reckon you're more likely to cop another injury than to kick 4 goals.
You kick 4 goals, 8, you'll kick. Exactly.
Yeah, something like that. 4 goals, 4, 6, 4, 8. Yeah, I like it.
Clip it. You heard it here first.
Yeah, it's 100 point loss. It's 100% loss.
All right, we get the Sunday games. First one off the cap. My boys, the Bombers, hosting North. $10.50 at North Melbourne.
Bombers by a kick.
I love it. Love it. Classic Essendon defibrillator heart stuff.
Kind of want to go North, to be honest.
Everyone wants to go North.
It'd be a very Essendon thing to do. That type of performance,
That's right.
that sort of pressure against the Giants, which I haven't seen in
Haven't
a long
lost
time.
in 5
and
weeks.
then just make it an absolute game out of North Melbourne.
Yeah, that's real Bombers type stuff.
Doesn't fit.
Yeah, go North.
You know Essendon's losing either North or Richmond, one of those two. Like, it's a guarantee you're dropping one of these 2 games.
We're going too well for us.
Yeah.
We're just going way too well.
Percentage of 98, like you're not...
Yeah, it's the percentage even over 100 and you've lost 2 games.
Further the ladder.
13 other teams with a percentage over 100, not the Bombers.
I mean, we had a draw. I guess that's one
The draw
less
saved
result.
you. The
That's
draw
right.
saved you. Otherwise, you would be 8th.
Get around this, mate.
They actually, they got the points. They could have been second.
exactly.
With 98.
we find ways to score points. Just ask Kyle Langford. All right, we then move to the next game.
Oh, yeah.
Port Adelaide hosting the Hawks.
Safe?
Yeah.
Over there. Now they're a great team, the Hawks. They're
Hawks
on
on the
ripping
run.
hot form.
Their
But
form in Adelaide earlier this year was
Yeah,
good.
no. I mean, we're in ripping hot form, as I said, the hottest side in the competition right now. So, I mean,
what's going on over here?
it's just more a matter of what can Port do to outdo us.
Wow.
And it'll take some effort. No. Back to reality.
No, I thought you were actually believing what you were saying there.
No.
50 points.
Oh, maybe.
Port, 50.
I'm
47.
Back to reality a little bit, so I reckon Port by.
Yeah, get on Port. Plus 39 and a half.
Yeah.
$1.15.
Yeah, look,
47.
Look, as I said before, I'm a pies nuffy. I don't know much about the competition, but I know the Hawthorn aren't going to fucking win, that's for sure.
You can ask my grandma. She can't even speak English. She'll be, pool and we. Yeah, that's exactly who they are. And then we end up last game of the round. Mate, this is also going to be a tight one. The Eagles hosting Nam.
Could you get 3 worst games on it? Like from Saturday night, actually.
Honestly,
make it 4,
what are
like,
these? It's just 3 beltings
But,
on Sunday.
but we know what always happens because there'll be one game there that'll stuff everyone's tips. And yeah, it'd probably be your boys. But
Probably me, yeah.
could be a round of upsets.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
Big grouse.
It won't be.
It means you
Richmond
guys
in
lose.
that, but
I don't care.
no, that's not going to happen.
What? You don't care?
Okay,
It's
fine.
good for footy.
It's good for footy.
I don't care if we don't miss it. I don't care if we don't make
I
finals.
don't think the D's game's going to be a blowout. It'll probably be like 6-7 goals, something like that.
Only 6 or 7 goals.
It's pretty
Compared
close.
to the other games.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
We've got the close one.
So we basically are in agreement on all of the games
How boring.
Saints Freo.
except for Saints Freo, where
Yeah.
they're torn 2 and 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't one of you tip the Dogs or
No.
no?
They're more hit and miss than Carlton.
Dogs
Yeah.
supporter
Yeah,
friends out
exactly.
there.
We're not going to throw a bone their way. So yeah,
Good.
thank you. So yes, guys, head on over, check us out. Let us know in the comments down below what you guys reckon are going to be the tips this week. Are we off our rockers? We're all going Gold Coast against the Cats, who just until a couple of weeks ago were undefeated. So is this recency bias, or have we got our smart thinking caps on? Having had a bunch of beers in the process of doing so and having a great time.
Yeah, I'm very confused and worried. I kind of regret all my tips. I want to change them again. I'm so freaking out a little bit.
Boy, no changing. No
Oh,
changing.
sucks.
You got to stay true to yourself. You're just worried that you're
Until
tipping
I
all the
find
same as a Bombers
It's
supporter.
hard being at the top because in my free tipping in all my leagues, I'm at the top. It's like, I don't like this position.
One to listen
I
to.
start to freak out.
One to listen to.
Until I find out someone else is playing 300 games this week and then I make a stupid change.
Yeah, that's it.
You just don't tip against the Bombers.
I
Just
hope
plain
a club
simple.
gets a new coach halfway through the year because always the next week that club always wins.
Okay.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's my theory.
Who do you think is going to be the first to get booted this year? And do you think actually will there be one booted this year?
Booted.
Who's that be close?
Well,
Sacked.
Oh.
What you think he's talking about kicking the shit out of him?
I'm going to take
They're a happy team.
Who's the first coach that's going to get his head kicked?
No, Collingwood supporter.
Sam Mitchell, bro. Sam Mitchell.
Oh, you'd love that.
Nah, got to be Uze, I think.
I'll tell you what.
Be up
It's
there.
his first year. But could you
Imagine that first year? Get out of here, mate.
I've written,
You have injured all our players.
that's 1990 Richmond stuff. That
Yeah. I don't know who's going to get the
coaches under the most pressure. I mean, you just think Bevo's number one.
Yeah,
right?
There's massive talk about Bevo, and since, like you said, which brought it up here the other week with Draper making his comments. But,
Get around him. He's smart. He knows.
Who knows if it's real or not? But he might be in strife. Hopefully, Craig McRae goes nowhere. It'll be wrapped.
No, do you there's not much talk here because they're in WA, but does Longmuir at Fremantle have anything to worry about? Because if Freo were to say finish the season off the cliff, now they're right in it, and Freo fans, you could still make the 8 and all that. But if you guys were to fall off a cliff, I think that could be the one.
They re-signed him for an extra year, though.
Yeah,
That's
they did.
Yeah,
but just because that happens doesn't mean anything these days.
So
a 1-year contract extension. Could you be any less bullish about this guy's chances?
Be like Brett Rutten with the Saints.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even offer your worst player on the list a 1-year contract extension.
Exactly.
That's just a rolling.
Give him 6 months. There you go.
Yeah, I know.
We'll give you 5 weeks.
I'd love to see pressure on Ross Lyon if they lose again.
I just want to hear Ross Lyon talk all day.
That's right.
Fun excuse.
It's so funny.
Played like a bunch of
How's that not the funniest thing ever?
Yeah. He's a different unit. As we all are here on the channel, thank you guys so much for watching. Choc, bro, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on. Hope you had a good time.
Oh, thanks for having me, mate. Yeah, it was grouse. I loved it. Hopefully I can come back sometime.
Yeah, you're more than welcome at any point in time, brother. Where can all of our wonderful viewers find you, bro?
On Instagram, Chocs_chat, TikTok, if you like, wherever.
Swizz, good to see you, brother.
Thanks, mate. It's always good to be here. It's the first one for the season, as I said, and a couple of legends next to me. So it's good, and we'll bring on the weekend where hopefully Man City wraps up the title. Hey, right, Dave?
Are you waking up to watch it?
No, I'll be up.
Yeah,
watch it. Yeah.
Love it.
Davo, it's good to see you, mate, even when you're late.
Yeah, no. Thank you for having me on again. It's good to be a part of it. So, with some absolute legends taking your line, mate. So, good. Yeah, it was good fun. And, calm the Hawks.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, has been another episode here on FanCast. Hope you all enjoyed how we went about it, what we had to say. If you want him to come back on, of course, head on over to Choc'sChat on all of the socials. His absolute legend, of course, Supercoach Insider, SDS Supercoach, Centre Bounce, FanCast as usual, because here on the channel we have a proper footy chat. We hope to see you all in the next one. See you guys.